What's up and welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm going to be giving a review for the film Nope. Now this is a science fiction horror film written, directed, and co-produced by Jordan Peele. Now it stars Daniel Kaluuya, Keke Palmer, and Steven Yeun. And you also have Michael Wincott in the film too as well. Now the film itself is about like this group of like residents or this isolated town of residents who witness like this mysterious like flying like saucer type or unidentified flying object. And that's what most of like the film itself is about. Now I must admit the film was like kind of entertaining, but it still was like something that just really kept it from like really taking off. And it was just, you know, in the end it was just okay. Like I thought it was just like a great film in the end. But overall, the film itself is actually, it takes place like with, you even get to stuck an occasional like flashback too at times throughout the film. And it is something kind of strange and kind of like off about it. And a lot of things in the film I felt were like left unexplained, like what happened to this particular like character, why did they do this, but didn't finish off what they started with that. Like there was like this thing going on throughout the film which focuses on like Steven Yeun, like his character, which is known as Ricky Park. Now apparently Ricky, when he was a kid, he had like this show that he did, and it turns out like what he's like a spoiler. These are like spoiler type things too. They're okay. I'm not gonna overly spoil the film, but there was like this monkey that was like involved like in this show that he used to do as a kid, and like the monkey suddenly like turned on like the actors and the actresses and was like attacking them and like all kinds of stuff. And it's like a very bloody scene, but for some reason that particular scene that they kind of built the character of Ricky Park, played by Steven Yeun, I think that's how you pronounce his last name. It didn't really, they didn't really like take off with it or like go finish off what happened with that. So I thought that was kind of odd. But mostly like the film does focus like on the main like protagonist of the film, which is like O.J. Haywood, and he's played by Daniel Kaluuya. And you also have his sister who's known as Amber or Am like Haywood, and she's played by Keke Palmer. Now both of them are like the children of Keith David, who plays Otis Haywood Sr., and he's the one that owns like the ranch that they live on. It has like the horses and all that they sell to like the people who come by and so on like that. Now his performances in the film are very limited. Like Keith David, like his scenes in the film are very limited. I think he has like about like 2 different scenes in the film. He doesn't really have that much screen time, and you can kind of see what happens to his character in the trailer, like what happens with him, and that's where the film actually kind of revolves around at first, but then it just goes off into its own direction. So basically like the film does take off eventually, you know, as far as the idea of them seeing like this unidentified flying object. It's like this spaceship looking thing that flies around, and you can tell it picks up things and so on. And one thing I thought was kind of cool about it, I like how Jordan Peele did that. He left it kind of late on in the film. He actually gave an explanation for why I had like these flag things hanging from it as it's flying around. I thought that was kind of cool, because Daniel himself, or O.J. Haywood, he actually gave an explanation for why that flags were hanging from like the saucer like that. And I thought that was pretty cool. Now it can be like a very bloody film too at times, and it can be like very tense too, because you don't know the outcome of certain characters and so on. Now Michael Wincott, he's in the film as this person known as Angels Torres, and he's like a director who's out to actually film like footage and so on, because they actually bring him, they want him to come to like the ranch where it's Keke Palmer, her character Emerald. She wants him to come to the ranch and film like this unidentified like flying saucer thing, because at first he doesn't want to do it, but eventually, you know, he agrees to go do it and so on. So I have this character who's known as Angel Torres, and he's played by Brandon Perea. I think that's how I pronounce it. And he's the guy that like the clerk that works like at this electronic shop known as I think Fry's, and he's the one that puts like surveillance cameras around like OJ and Emerald's like house, like their home, so they can like keep an eye on like this unidentified flying object. Now he really is like a major character in the film too, because he actually ends up with them and so on. So he's really there a lot in the film. But overall, I thought it was I could say at times it was like entertaining, and there's like some tense moments, and you could tell the real like science fiction type stuff. But like a lot of things just were left like unexplained. It wasn't like no explanation for like a lot of things that were going on in the film, and I did thought that was kind of strange that he just left it like that. And it doesn't seem like, and this is spoiler territory, like they're trying to leave it open for a sequel, but obviously they could make a sequel to this. But I must admit I would like to touch on the actual like unidentified flying object itself. I don't want to go into it too much because it was spoiler, but I did thought what they did with that was kind of interesting, kind of cool. What it turned out to be, I thought was kind of awesome. I did like how they did that, like in the film they begin to really focus on, it's like which you could tell is kind of like, you can't really say it's a UFO, but it's just something like that. It's like a flying saucer and so on. But I thought I liked what they did with that. I don't want to go into it too much, but I thought it was kind of cool how it even could change how I looked at it and so on and everything like that. I want to keep on touching it, but I just leave it at that. But in Nope, it was like a decent film, but like I say, it was just like a lot of things that just felt like they didn't like take off, or like certain things, like I was saying, like certain characters or certain like story arcs or plot arcs that they were going to that they just didn't like finish, or they didn't give like no explanation to like what happened to this particular character, what did this mean and so on. So it was just something kind of off about it. But in the end, I thought it was like okay, it was like a solid film from Jordan Peele. So I'm just going to give Nope a C, and I would definitely recommend it for like fans. But I guess you could say, I know he has done like better films than this, but if you're like a fan of like Jordan Peele films, I would kind of just recommend you like check it out. It is like an odd and strange film, and like I said, it just left a lot of things unexplained. So I'm just giving this a C, and this is my review for Nope. Please leave a comment and subscribe too as well.